Dr. Abira and Shiraj Basu, may I please request you to come on the dais? Second session on art, culture and heritage of Buddhist communities. Over to you, Bhanteji.
Thank you very much. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo Buddha, everybody. Most venerable, respected monks and nuns and the devotees, ladies and gentlemen. I am Venerable Silavansa Thero from Sri Lanka, will be the moderator on this second session, and I am giving my service to the Mahabodhi Society of India as the principal monk of Mahabodhi Dhammadutta School and propagating the mission of the Buddha. It is a great opportunity for me to share the stage as the moderator in this international seminar, Buddha, Dhamma and Culture in the Northeast India, organized by IBC. IBC is always paying their attention to fill up the gaps of Buddhist mission. So this is also a very good work of IBC. On behalf of Mahabodhi Society of India, I take this opportunity to extending blessings to Mr. Abhijit Haldar, the Director General of IBC, and also the Janchuk Chedin, the Rinpocheji, the Secretary General of IBC, and also other helping hands who supported to success this historical event. Thank you very much for being here with us. As a Buddhist missionary monk, it is great pleasure and honor for me to sitting in front of you in this afternoon at the holy mountain range of Himalaya, the center of Jambudipa, which is all the Buddhas used to associate. Today, we are here to discuss about interesting field of the art, culture, and Buddhist communities. Always the Buddhist missionaries had given importance to the values of culture in the societies. Or when we pay attention towards the missionaries, mostly the most famous the missionary groups has sent by Emperor Ashoka to the different territories in the history. So we getting the evidence and sources also. The Emperor Ashoka has sent Majjantika Thera and his group, also Majjhima Thera and his group to this Himalayan range. According to the sources such as Mahavansha, it is mentioned that when they reached here, the local people was terrified with by a king cobra. So people was facing disturbances, problems. So those our missionary groups didn't start the mission with that fearness. So with the power of spiritual power of supernatural powers, power of the Buddha's great compassion. So they could surrender that king cobra and release those the area people from this terrified that creepers. So it is telling us that always the Buddhist missionary going through the values and going through the local people's issues, and also that Arhat Mahind and his group has gone to Sri Lanka. While they was going to Sri Lanka, at that time the Sri Lankan people also used to worship the trees and the rock mountains. So the missionary group, that Arhat Mahind, didn't deny it, but instead of that he modified it. Like he invited to his sister to bring a sapling of Bodhi tree. So instead of worshipping other trees, he introduced to worship the Bodhi tree. So still in Sri Lanka, worshipping only to the Bodhi tree. People accepted it. Also, instead of worshipping the rock mountains, the Arhat Mahind introduced the stupa. So enshrining the Buddha's relics, the first stupa, Tuparama, they have established there. In the stupa also, it is included the teachings of the Buddha, that the structure of the stupa, it is according to the teachings of the Buddha it has created. That means that when the people has come to the temple to worship the stupa, because the Buddha's relics are inside there, but they are learning something. So it is as a learning material, also as the cultural material. The stupa is developed. In this way, always the Buddhist missionaries go through the cultural values and also the architecture and also these artifacts. Our scholar panel has prepared good research work to throw light on these topics. Therefore, this session is very much important for all of you as dedicated Buddhist missionaries. Organize your service more and more better. The modern world is rapidly passing through the transforming chapter in the world history. As Buddhist missionaries, it's our duty to encouraging the people to use the Buddhist ethics to make peace and harmony in the society. So, without wasting time, I think I will give the chance for our scholars to speak. We have incredible list of speakers. First, the Mr. Supreme Basu, he will be the first speaker, and also Dr. Tasi Punso, and Dr. Abhira Bhattacharya, and Bhikkhu Kesara. This is our panel, panel in the second session. I am calling the first speaker. He has been a driven force in cross-border tourism, strengthening religious ties and fostering culture exchange. As the Secretary General of Indo-Myanmar Fraternal Alliance and Indo-Bhutan Relationship Association, he has played a vital role promoting sustainable tourism activities. His efforts include organizing Indo-Nepal Friendship Meets, launched the Asian Rural Tourism Festival in Nepal, and initiating the Pongsu Pass Winter Festival in Arunachal Pradesh, all which enhance local communities and cultural heritage. as founder of Help Tourism, he has pioneered a community-driven tourism project that transforms conservation landscape for protecting Paharapur, a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Bengal, to enabling cross-border conservation along the Indo-Nepal border to Sengalila National Park. His work has empowered local communities. He actively promotes environmental protection, rural development, and cultural preservation. So I am inviting for you to the mic. Yes. Please keep together your hands for him to encourage.
Thank you very much, our moderator, sir. Namo Buddhaya. The most venerable members of the Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni Sangha, my naman to all of you, the respected officials of IBC who are the organizers over here, and the district administration who are present, and my dear brothers and sisters who have come from far and wide and from within to this very auspicious occasion that we are having today. First of all, just let me tell you, I am Raj Basu, and I've been coming here for almost now 3 decades. Before I go and tell you what it is all about, I would like to share a small story, because if you all remember, at least the elderly people who are here, if you all remember, Namsai used to be a very small place, and where we had the ADC office, which was there, you know, just opposite to the pagodas which are there used to be the ADC's office, and the main place for visit used to be Chokham. And because being into wildlife conservation, I was a common visitor of the Namdapha National Park. And Namdapha National Park आते आते हमें ऐसा क्या, हमें किसी ने बताया कि आप अगर उस तरफ में जाएंगे तो आपको हाथी दिखाई देगा. वहाँ के लोग जो है वो हाथी पालते हैं. और चोखम बोल के एक गांव है जो कि एशिया का सबसे रिचेस्ट विलेज है. हम ताज्जुब हो गए, अरे ऐसा भी है क्या? हमारे बगल में हम नामदफा आते हैं और चौखम जो है वो सबसे रिचेस्ट विलेज इन एशिया, ये क्या चीज़ है? ये तो देख के आना चाहिए. तो हम पहुंच गए. पहुंचने के बाद यही नामसाई होके, उस समय में ये महादेवपुर वाला मियाँ वाला रोड नहीं था, बड़ा करके घूम के आना पड़ता था. घूम के मुश्किल से आप पहुंचा, और आप लोगों को मालूम है पतला सा छोटा सा रास्ता होता था, बहुत टाइम लगता था. टूटा हुआ रास्ता जंगल के अंदर से एकदम लठाओ बोल के वहाँ पे मतलब सिर्फ लॉक्स पड़े रहते थे, और फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट वो लॉक्स को मतलब जो है एलिफेंट से उसको आगे पीछे करते थे. और ये टेंगापानी नदी के बराबर हम जाने लगे. और जैसे ही हमने मतलब चौखम पहुँचने से पहले फर्स्ट टर्निंग लिया, हम गाड़ी वाले को बोला, उस जमाने में मारुति वैन होता था, नया निकला था मारुति वैन, दूसरा इतना लग्जरी गाड़ी नहीं होता था. तो हम गाड़ी को बोला, अरे रोको रोको रोको. और डिजिटल कैमरे भी नहीं था. क्या देख रहा था कि दाएं तरफ वाले एरिया में एक आदमी जो है, एक हाथी ऐसे आगे जा रहा है, एक आदमी पीछे बैठ के उसका प्लाविंग कर रहा है. इतना छोटा सा आदमी लग रहा है. हम देख के एकदम ताज्जुब हो गया, अरे ये कैसे होता है? क्या हाथी से प्लाविंग होता है? बाकी इंडिया में तो क्या बोलते हैं, आपका ऑक्स से प्लाविंग होता है, फिर ट्रैक्टर से प्लाविंग होता है, यहाँ हाथी से प्लाविंग होता है. हम उतर के, उस समय क्लिक 3 एक कैमरा था, उससे फोटो खींचने लगा. पास में जाके फोटो खींचा, आगे आके फोटो खींचा. हाँ, एकदम हम वो हो गया. फिर उससे थोड़ा सा आगे गया तो टेंगापानी ब्रिज के ऊपर एक काठ का ब्रिज होता था, वहाँ खड़ा हो गया तो देखा हमको एकदम एक छोटा सा बर्मा जैसे दिख रहा है, लिटिल म्यांमार जैसे दिख रहा है. ऐसा स्प्रेड आउट हुआ, काठ का अच्छा अच्छा बुद्धा मंदिर जो है वहाँ पे फैला हुआ है. एक अलग ही उस समय में एक अटैचमेंट तैयार हो गया था. वो अटैचमेंट आज के दिन तक भी हमको यहाँ खींच के लेके आता है. ये कल्चर जो है, ये जो रूटेड जो हमारे अंदर में, जो एकदम ही कम्युनिटी के अंदर, ये नहीं कि कोई इंडिविजुअल के अंदर, हाँ, बाकी इंडिया में बहुत जगह में आप देखेंगे कुछ लोग जो है कल्चर लेके बहुत नज़दीकी से काम करते हैं, कल्चर में फुल्ली वो इन्वॉल्व है, लेकिन एंटायर कम्युनिटी जो है वो कल्चर और हेरिटेज में इन्वॉल्व है। वो हमको फर्स्ट टाइम अरुणाचल आके हमको मालूम चला कि लोग जो है अपना कल्चर और उसके साथ एकदम क्लोजली कनेक्टेड है, और उससे जो है हम अरुणाचल में रह के काम करने लगे। उसके बाद 2005-6 में, in 2005-2006, if you go to Chokham, the Pali school is still there. We did the first Bauddha Mahotsav at the Pali school in 2005-06, और उस समय में एक इको टूरिज्म का वर्कशॉप जिसका जो प्रिसाइड करने के लिए हमने थाईलैंड का जो एम्बेसडर है उनको बुलाया था, हिज एक्सेलेंसी को बुलाया था, उन्होंने प्रिसाइड किया था, और वो इंडिया का फर्स्ट इको टूरिज्म वर्कशॉप था। मतलब आप सोच सकते हैं कि ये जगह का कितना पुराना कनेक्ट है और कितना लोगों का इंटरेस्ट है। उसके बाद देश विदेश से लोग आए, हम लोग फिर धीरे धीरे आगे जाने लगे, क्योंकि आपको मालूम है कि ये हमारा जो एडवांटेज है ये चौखम का, वो लोहित के किनारे में बसा हुआ है, और लोहित जो है वो एक लेजेंडरी रिवर है इंडियंस के लिए, क्योंकि लोहित को माना जाता है वो ब्रह्मपुत्र का जो शुरुआत है माइथोलॉजिकली वो लोहित से होता है। कॉलोनियली हम लोग बोलते हैं सियांग से होता है, लेकिन माइथोलॉजिकली हम लोग बोलते हैं वो लोहित से होता है। तो वो फॉलो करके फिर धीरे धीरे आगे आगे बढ़ने लगे। बहुत दिनों तक वो परशुराम कुंड वाला ब्रिज नहीं बना था, वो तेजू होके घूम के जाना पड़ता था। इस तरफ में आप चले जाएंगे, उस तरफ में ब्रिज बन तो गया था लेकिन जोड़ा नहीं था, इसलिए बहुत दिनों तक वो अलग ही हो रखा था। तो इसलिए ऊपर पहुंचते पहुंचते टाइम लगा। जब तक हम ऊपर पहुंचे तो देखा कि मिश्मी वाला एरिया छोड़ के हम ऊपर पहुंचने के बाद हमको ये मोनेस्ट्री दिखा, ये छोटा सा एक मोनेस्ट्री। फिर पूछा कि अरे मिश्मी लोग तो बुद्धिस्ट है ही नहीं, तो यहाँ पे कैसे मोनेस्ट्री आ गया। फिर हमसे मिलाया, काहो विलेज में जाके हमने मीटिंग किया, तो वहाँ पे मेयर कम्युनिटी था। मेयर एक छोटा सा बुद्धिस्ट कम्युनिटी है जो इस पार भी है उस पार में भी है, दोनों तरफ है। हाँ, बेसिकली जो है वो पैस्चरल लाइवलीहुड में वो डिपेंड करते हैं, और वो वहाँ बैठे हुए हैं। तो उनके साथ इंटरेक्शन किया, धीरे धीरे जाके आज के दिन में अगर जाएंगे तो वहाँ पे आज होम स्टे भी है। किबितू डोंग जो है आज के दिन में मैप में आ गया। और सबसे बड़ी बात ये है, जो लोग मतलब अरुणाचल से नहीं है उनको बता दे, दो चीज के लिए जो है ये लोहित जो है ये पॉपुलर है, ये किबितू डोंग और काहो जो पॉपुलर है वो इसलिए है कि यहाँ से इंडिया का फर्स्ट सनराइज होता है। So as the sun rises, this is the gateway of India. हाँ, उससे बड़ा तो कोई गेस्ट हो ही नहीं सकता ना दुनिया में, सन से बड़ा गेस्ट। अगर सन अगर हमारा गेस्ट है तो गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया जो है वो आपका डोंग, किबितू और काहो है। तो ये बात हम लोगों को सोच के रखना पड़ेगा। दूसरी बात, जैसे हमने देखा और सोचा, थोड़ा नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में जाइएगा, और बगल में ये बहुत अच्छा सा लोहित रिवर का जो है वो सीनरी था। और लोहित जहाँ पे आके प्लेन्स में मिलता है वहाँ मिश्मी हिल्स खत्म होता है और हिमालय शुरू होता है। तो दुनिया जो हिमालय में आते हैं, दुनिया जो हिंदू कुश हिमालयन रीजन को विजिट करने आते हैं, इनका शुरुआत जो है, हिमालय का शुरुआत जो है ये अरुणाचल से होता है और ये लोहित किनारे से होता है। जहाँ पे हम लोग खड़े हैं ये नामसाई चौखम, हाँ, इस यहाँ से शुरू होता है। तो देखिएगा कि जैसे ही आप लोहित क्रॉस करेंगे उस पार में आपको भीष्मक नगर दिख जाएगा, आपको छोटे छोटे रुइंस दिखने लगेंगे। है, एक टाइम में वहाँ तामेश्वरी टेम्पल बोल के एक टेम्पल हुआ करता था जो कि 1950 वाला फ्लड में चला गया था, ये लोहित के साइड में हुआ करता था। तो ये सब लेजेंडरी जगह है जो कि आज से नहीं, ये महाभारत टाइम से होते हुए आ रहा है। तो जिसको हम लोग जो है बहुत दिनों तक, जब तक हम लोग मुगल कॉलोनीज के अंडर में थे, जब तक हम लोग मतलब पोर्तुगीज, फ्रेंच, फिर डच और इंग्लिश क्या बोलते कॉलोनीज के अंडर में थे, तब हम लोगों ने जो है ये ईस्टर्न वाला रीजन को हम लोग भूल गए थे। क्योंकि मुगल लोग गंगा का मेन स्ट्रीम एशिया के ऊपर से आए थे, तो हमारे लिए जो है गैंजेटिक प्लेन्स जो है वो हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट बन गया है। लेकिन हमारा बुद्धा भगवान के टाइम का, उन्होंने जब निर्वाण लाभ किया तब कनेक्टिविटी किसके साथ था आप देखेंगे, तब कनेक्टिविटी जो था वो म्यांमार के साथ में था। जो उस समय में बर्मा था, श्याम देश था, उनके साथ में था। तो ये कनेक्टिविटी जो है कभी हमारे हिस्ट्री और हेरिटेज में आया ही नहीं। अभी फिलहाल हमारे स्कॉलर्स जो है, आप लोग यहाँ से जब जाते हैं बाकी मेन स्ट्रीम में, तब जाके आप निकालते हैं कि हाँ, ये एक बहुत बड़ा पॉसिबिलिटी है जहाँ से इंडिया की शुरुआत होती है। इसके पहले वाले सेशन में हमें पालित जी बता रहे थे, बांग्लादेश भी अलग नहीं था, वो तो पार्ट ऑफ द इंडियन सब कॉन्टिनेंट था। तो उस समय में आप देखिए मैनामती का हिस्ट्री जो है, कितना रिच हिस्ट्री हुआ करता था। हाँ, उसके पहले हमें हमारे जो लामा जी ने बताया कि मॉन किंगडम का कितना बड़ा इसका हिस्ट्री हुआ करता था। तो ये हुआ क्यों? नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में चलते हैं प्लीज। आज हमारा डिस्कशन जो है ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ द इंटरनेशनल बुद्धिस्ट कॉन्फेडरेशन के बिहाफ में हम लोग हेरिटेज और आर्ट और ये सब को कम्युनिटी का जो यहाँ के इन्वॉल्वमेंट है उसको लेके हम लोग बात करेंगे, उनके कल्चर लेके बात करेंगे। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। देखिए, हमारा जो अभी पहले वाले सेशन में हम लोग सुन रहे थे, हमारा कम्युनिटी का कल्चर किस चीज के साथ है। आज के दिन में भी आप कोई भी कम्युनिटी गांव के घर में चले जाइए, अरुणाचल में 70% ऑफ द फूड जो है वो नेचर से आता है। हाँ, आपका सब घर बनाने का सामान जो है, हमारा प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना है, लेकिन घर बनाने का सामान जो है वो पीछे वाले जंगल से आता है, चाहे वो बैम्बू हो, चाहे वो पत्थर हो, चाहे वो क्या बोलते हैं आपका पाम लीफ का रूफ हो, जो भी हो, आपका बेसिक्स जो है वो नेचर के अंदर से आता है। फूड, क्लोथिंग एंड शेल्टर, खुद हम लोग जो है, हम लोग खुद अपना जो क्लोथ है हम लोग खुद बुनते हैं, है ना। तो ये अक्रॉस अरुणाचल अगर देखेंगे या अक्रॉस द नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजन अगर हम लोग क्लोजली देखते हैं तो हमारी कल्चर जो है वो एकदम डायरेक्टली नेचर के साथ वो लिंक्ड है। और ये चीज को हमें रियलाइज करना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि बुद्धिज्म ही एक ऐसा फेथ है, एक ऐसा कल्चर है जो दूसरा कल्चर को अपने अंदर अडॉप्ट कर लेता है। हाँ, डाओइज्म के बारे में हम लोगों ने सुना, इसके पहले बॉनिज्म के बॉन के बारे में सुना। हर एक कल्चर जो है, जो एग्जिस्टिंग कल्चर था, आप देखेंगे कि उसको हम लोगों ने अडॉप्ट कर लिया। इसलिए जो है बुद्धिस्ट कोई भी टेम्पल या हमारे भगवान बुद्धा का जो मूर्ति है, हर एक जगह में अलग अलग है। लोग अपने साथ में डायरेक्टली जुड़ते हैं, कम्युनिटी जो है अपने साथ में डायरेक्टली जुड़ते हैं, वो अपने जैसे अपने आप को वो भगवान बुद्धा में देखना चाहते हैं। इसलिए उनका टेम्पल भी अपना ढंग से बनाते हैं और उनका जो चेहरा है, उनका मूर्ति भी वो अपने ढंग से बनाते हैं। तो ये जो चीज है ये दूसरा कोई रिलीजन में आपको नहीं मिलेगा। हाँ, ये पर्टिकुलरली ये बुद्धिज्म ने ये चीज को कितना अच्छी तरह, ये कम्युनिटी का जो कल्चर है, कम्युनिटी को वो लोगों ने अडॉप्ट किया है अपने फेथ में। कम्युनिटी का जो कल्चर है उनको मतलब एंडोर्स करके वो आगे बढ़े, इसीलिए जो है बुद्धिज्म का इतना सक्सेस हुआ है। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। आप देखिए, ये ईस्टर्न अरुणाचल का एक छोटा सा एक आपको कुछ फोटोज दिखा रहे हैं। हम फोटोज ही दिखा रहे हैं क्योंकि हमें मालूम है लंच के बाद सबको नींद आता है। एटलीस्ट फोटो होगा तो थोड़ा सा देखेंगे, नहीं तो सिर्फ बात ही बात सुनेंगे तो सो जाएंगे, उठाना पड़ेगा फिर। तो आप अगर देखेंगे यहाँ पे ईस्टर्न अरुणाचल में, देखिए ये तांगसा कम्युनिटी है। तांगसा और सिंगफो कम्युनिटी जो है, बोला जाता है कि ब्रिटिशर्स लोग ने इन लोगों से इनको चाय मिला था। उस समय चाय का बहुत डिमांड था, पूरा दुनिया में सिर्फ चाइना चाय भेजता था और चाइनीज जो है वो चाय में काफी आगे बढ़े हुए थे। तो वो चाय जो है वो तांगसा और सिंगफो कम्युनिटी में मिलता था और वो बैम्बू के अंदर चाय बनाते हैं जिसको हम फलब बोलते हैं, हाँ, या अलग अलग नाम से इसको बोलते हैं, या तीता चाय बोलते हैं अरुणाचल में। ये चाय जो है ये 5000 से 7000 वर्ष पुराना ये चाय का जो है ये टेक्नोलॉजी जो है ये हमारे कम्युनिटी को मालूम था। और ये दुनिया को हमने कमर्शियली, जब चाय ब्रिटिशर्स लोग आए तो यहाँ से इन्होंने चाय सीड को लिया, लंदन में भेजा, कलकत्ता में भेजा, और वो उन्होंने तब से कमर्शियल टी का जो है प्रोडक्शन चालू हो गया। तो वो चाय जो है आज के दिन में भी तांगसा कम्युनिटी में बनाया जाता है। और तांगसा कम्युनिटी जो है, अगर हम बोलेंगे कि वो डायरेक्टली बुद्धिस्ट है, वो अपना जो है नेचर को, जिसको हम लोग बायो डिविनिटी बोलते हैं, अपने डिवाइन फोर्सेस को नेचर में उन्हें मिलता है, उसमें जैसे वो इन्वॉल्व है, उसके साथ साथ में वो बुद्धिज्म में भी इन्वॉल्व है। तो ये बहुत अच्छा सा जो जर्नी होता है कि अपने अंदर से बाहर और बाहर से अंदर, ये जो पॉसिबिलिटी है वो बुद्धिज्म ने यहाँ करके दिखाया। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज, गिव मी 2-3 minutes, I'll go fast. So Arunachal Pradesh, the entire culture is based on biodivinity and Buddhism. आप जहाँ भी जाएंगे, कुछ हमें यूरोपियन स्कॉलर्स या इंग्लिश स्कॉलर्स जो है हमारी इंपीरियलिस्टिक लैंग्वेज में बोलते हैं ये लोग एनिमिस्ट है। एनिमिस्ट का मतलब होता है कि एनिमल्स को जो है मार पीट के खत्म करके एनिमिस्ट वो लोग है, तो एनिमल की तरह जी, ऐसा तो नहीं है ना। हम लोग कल्चरली पूरा दुनिया से नहीं भी होने से 1000 से 2000 साल आगे है, क्योंकि आज दुनिया ढूंढ रहा है कि वो कैसे अपना सस्टेनेबल लाइफस्टाइल लीड कर सकता है, वो कैसे सस्टेनेबिलिटी गोल्स वो अचीव कर सकते हैं। वो हमारे कम्युनिटीज ने अपने फूड, क्लोथिंग एंड शेल्टर के थ्रू में, अपने बैकयार्ड बायोडाइवर्सिटी का मटेरियल से एक भी आपका इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्ट नहीं यूज करके भी, एक जेब में थोड़ा सा 10 पैसा नहीं होने से भी एक अरुणाचली जो है उनका बेसिक्स ऑफ लाइफ वो चल जाता है। क्योंकि करेंसी जो है अरुणाचल में अगर देखेंगे, करेंसी बनता है आपका मिथुन से। जब आप लड़की लेने जाते हैं तो आपको मिथुन दान करना पड़ता है। तो मिथुन दान मतलब बाकी इंडिया जब डाउरी ले रहा है, हम लोग यहाँ पे मिथुन ले रहे हैं। और जितना मिथुन आप लेंगे उतना बड़ा फॉरेस्ट आपके पास होना चाहिए, क्योंकि मिथुन जो है वो डोमेस्टिकेटेड एनिमल नहीं है, वो रेंज एनिमल है। आपका जितना बड़ा जंगल होगा उतना आप मिथुन रख सकेंगे। इसका मतलब है आपका बैंक हो गया आपका बायोडाइवर्सिटी, आपका जंगल, और आपका करेंसी हो गया मिथुन। तो ये बायोडाइवर्सिटी और बुद्धिज्म दोनों एक दूसरे के साथ कैसे फाइनली ट्यून करके यहाँ पे चल रहा है, वही कल्चर हमें प्रमोट करना है, उसी को हमें देखना है। थोड़ा सा फोटोग्राफ सबको दिखा दीजिए, फिर हम चले जाएंगे। एक बार थोड़ा सा ये देखिए, ये जो है ये टिबेटन में लिखा हुआ है, यहाँ पे द्राग्ये खी लुंगपा लेग लिखा हुआ है। मतलब इस भाषा में जो भी रहेगा वो घर में जो है वो घर में प्रॉस्पेरिटी लेके आएगा। मतलब ये, लेकिन ये कोई बुद्धिस्ट कम्युनिटी का नहीं है, ये आदि बोकार लोगों का सबके घर में मिलता है। मतलब यहाँ से उस जमाने में बहुत रिच ट्रेड हुआ करता था। अगर हम लोग सोचते हैं कि बुद्धिज्म कैसे आगे बढ़ा है, वो इसलिए पॉसिबल हुआ है क्योंकि ट्रेड उसके साथ में था। और हमारे धर्मराज अशोक ने सबसे पहला जो है ये रिलीजियन को यूज करके उन्होंने अपना इंपीरियलिस्टिक रूल को आगे बढ़ाया था और अपना ट्रेड को आगे बढ़ाकर मगध का जो ट्रेड है और उड़ीसा का जो ट्रेड है, बंगाल का जो ट्रेड है, वो पूरा एशिया में फैलाने के लिए वो सक्सेसफुल हुए थे। तो दुनिया को सिर्फ एजुकेशन ही हम लोगों ने, बुद्धिस्ट लोगों ने नहीं दिया, हमने ट्रेड करने का, जिस जनरेशन में आज हम लोग जी रहे हैं ये ट्रेड का जनरेशन है, ये आग और व्हील वाला जनरेशन नहीं है। आप सब लोग जो है देखिएगा ब्रांडेड चीजें पहने हुए हैं, मॉल जाते हैं, मार्केट जाते हैं, मतलब हम ट्रेड का जमाना जी रहे हैं। और ट्रेड का जो फर्स्ट जो फाउंडेशन लेइंग है वो शुरू किया था धर्मराज अशोक ने। और उसका जो रेमिनेसेंस जो है, ये नदी पकड़ के जो ट्रेड रूट है वो आज के दिन में भी तिब्बत और म्यांमार के बीच में थ्रू अरुणाचल आज के दिन में भी ये देखा जाता है। थोड़ा स्लाइड को आगे बढ़ा देंगे प्लीज। ये देख रहे हैं आप, जैसे हिज होलीनेस दलाई लामा आए थे तो कैसे हम लोगों का मतलब अलग अलग बुद्धिज्म का ओवरलैपिंग हुआ था, वो डिटेल्स में बाद में बात करेंगे। प्लीज आगे। ये देखिए, जो बुद्धिस्ट भी नहीं है लेकिन बुद्धिस्ट कल्चर के साथ कितना क्लोजली अपना कपड़ा से लेकर अपना, जैसे भूटान में, अभी भूटान के दाशु जी हैं हमारे साथ में बैठे हुए हैं, तो इनके वहाँ पे आर्चरी जो है वो नेशनल गेम है। आप देखिए हमारे यहाँ पे हर एक कम्युनिटी में आर्चरी खेला जाता है, हाँ, लेकिन ये बुद्धिस्ट कम्युनिटी नहीं। ये देखिए कि इनके पास कितना रिच ज्वेलरी होता है जो कि ट्रेड के काम में आता था। वो ज्वेलरी एक माँ जो है अपनी बेटी को देती है, वो मतलब ट्रेडिशनली ये लेगेसी चलते रहता है। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। ये म्यांमार है, तो म्यांमार के साथ जो है हम लोगों का बहुत क्लोज रिलेशन है। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। ये देखिए हम लोग म्यांमार से होते हुए कैसे पंक्साउ पास होके हम लोग आ गए। कल जब जो लोग आए हैं ये प्रोग्राम के लिए, आप लोग गोल्डन टेम्पल देखने जाएंगे, इसको देखेंगे तो आपको अच्छा लगेगा। ये जो क्वाड्रिलैटरल रूट है, ये रूट को देखना समझना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि अरुणाचल के बीच में होते हुए आप देखेंगे कि हमारे यहाँ पे जो मेन जो ट्रेड रूट है, जो लाशा, चेंगडू, कुनमिंग और मेंडेले को जोड़ता है। उसके बीच में जो है ये जो यू शेप में जो है ये अरुणाचल जो है ये सबके लिए कनेक्ट है। सो हम लोग जब अरुणाचल आते हैं तो हम इंडियंस को बोलते हैं कि यू कम एज एन इंडियन, यू इमर्स एज एन इंडियन एंड यू इमर्ज एज एन एशियन। आप इंडियन बन के आएंगे और एशियन बन के यहाँ से वापस जाएंगे। धन्यवाद सबको। थैंक यू।
Thank you very much, Supatisam Basuji. आपने you have taken our discussion to a new direction. We have felt that your presentation is like a story. So the people now has taken their lunch and they couldn't feel sleepy with your presentation. So it was very successful. And also I think you are researching field. Your researching field is the tourism. So you encourage to the tourism also, because when we are seeing your slides and hearing your details, we also felt that we have to go and see these things. Also, you took that another direction. Because you has taken to the culture of the village. So this seminar, I think, it is taken into another direction. Means that art is not only that the temple structure or any other those things, but the living style. That is also an art of that is. So you took into those directions. So thank you very much. So time is very much going past. So I am calling the second speaker, Dr. Tassi Phonso. Dr. Tassi Phonso is currently serving as the principal of Government College Bomdila. With over 18 years of teaching experiences, he has made significant contribution to the academic field. He holds PhD in agriculture economics from Rajagavada University, Itanagar. In coronation of his dedication, he was honored as the best NSS program officer in Arunachal Pradesh in 2009. Additionally, in 2025, he received the silver medal from the Honorable Governor of Arunachal Pradesh for his distinguished service to the state, further cementing his impact in the field of the education. So please welcome to the mic. Give him a clap.
Thank you very much, Banteji. Reverend Sangha members.
Again, I'm reminding the time, please.
Yes, Reverend Sangha members, dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries in the hall, and dear brothers and sisters. Within the limited time frame, I will just go through a little about the intangible cultural heritage in Mon region of Western Arunachal Pradesh. When I'm talking about the Mon region, and whenever I'm just narrating, you can just recollect in your mind what Shri Malingambu sir a couple of hours before he delivered about the history of that region. According to UNESCO, intangible cultural heritage are intangible. It is unlike the hard objects and architecture. These are, embedded in the social practices of the community. And in this context, I would like to put the things in context, as our Abhishek Haldar sir said, how communities preserve this, culture in their day-to-day daily life. There are three components to it. First is it is intergenerational. That is, one generation passes on to another. Second is it is representative of that specific culture and community. Third is that it has to have some space for bridging across. Therefore, that way the intangibility of that culture is exercised in the daily lives, and it gives meaning to the society. So I have a map over here. This is the map of Tawang and West Kameng. This is a cultural map brought from another source. You can see there is a route coming from Tibet, Sona, Zong, then Mekmohon, just coming down to Assam near Amartola. It passes through Tawang and different points of West Kameng, Sengezong, Diranzong. Just this is the route, this is the background. And before independence, there had been a lot of interaction in this limited, say niche or a cultural zone where Buddhism played a very significant role. Now I have a series of photographs. You can just go through. These are the 12th and 13th century monuments. Next. Keep going. Keep going, changing. Change karte raho. Aage jate raho. So I had a series of pictures. The idea of showing you the picture was to show that even in a small place, a small region, a lot of social change happens. After 7th, 8th century, we have evidences, archaeological evidences, written, literary evidences of interaction of these Buddhist communities, particularly Monpa and Shetupen, with the Bhutanese and the Tibetans. So that, that interaction basically, lives the ancient Indian great civilization, which, as we all know, that minus India, there is no ancient world. So everything is coming from India, in this context, Buddhism. So before we had Buddhism, as Maling sir also informed you, we had an animistic system of belief system, where animal sacrifices were there, worship of local deities were there. When Buddhism came, how did it assimilate within the Buddhist pantheon? The cosmology, let me put it in this way. There are a set of villages. Each village worship one particular mountain deity, right? And their worldview is confined to that, that geographical, niche. However, when Buddhism came, it actually assimilated the entire belief system within itself by transforming the existing system. Like, instead of animal sacrifice, you are now offering some ritual cakes. There is no more animal sacrifice, and that way the worship of the mountains, rivers, I won't take the local names here to make it short, are all part of becomes the part of the bigger cosmology, that is the Buddhist universal Buddhist ethical cosmology. It comes under that, and the local environmental religiosity or spiritualism gets somehow practiced. It continues. Therefore, I have said continuity first, then change. So this continues, and because you see, the environment, like the mountain becomes the holy thing, and when the mountain becomes the holy thing, environment becomes object of worship. Therefore, they have a set range of mountains and rivers they consider holy, and they do not damage those things. So that environmental spiritualism comes into existence. And secondly, the trade route, the route that you saw, it ensures mobility of people across the zone, from Tibet to Assam and Assam to Tibet. And in between, the small catchment villages are very much connected through that. So what has happened is that in that small region, in the pre-independence period, they got to know about the concept of trade and commerce. They know what is contract. They know what is profit. They have a term for loss. They have a term for investment. Everything is there. Of course, it is not unlike today's time. It was at a different small scale, but concept, people started having that concept. And similarly, the impact is felt in the linguistic field as well. These communities, seemingly two communities, but lot of diverse dialects over there. But all these dialects have a lot of shared vocabulary coming from the Bon period to the Buddhist period. For example, the entire Buddhist, vocabulary of peace, non-violence, compassion, all comes inside our dialects, respective dialects. We have the concept of trade, all comes into our dialects. We have the concept of shared synthesis, shared living, mutual harmony. Now, how this 3 centuries or 5 centuries of social experience gives a big advantage to this region. You can see today, there are more than 1,300 homestays registered in Arunachal Pradesh, as he told me, and to my presumption that highest concentration is in West Kameng and Tawang, and that too in the zone where the Buddhist communities are living. So it's not just a coincidence. I mean, the culture of accommodation, the culture of tolerance, the culture of peace that people, practice into their day-to-day life, and that is articulated in their behavior, gives a lot of trust to the outsiders, people coming, visiting. So the government had to give the homestays no training for hospitality. Hospitality is already there. And the Buddha, the big Buddha, Buddha's name itself is a huge, I may be forgiven, a brand in today's language, right? So people would come, remain in isolated place without any fear. So today, that is how, our, the Buddhist heritage, living Buddhist heritage is transforming the economy over there. And a sustainability dimension of the UNO's, convention and our government of India's focus is articulated very well at the local level, because you don't, damage the glaciers, you don't damage the lakes, you don't damage the catchment area, the key area where rainfall is accumulated, because that is the object of worship, right? So that way, Buddha's message over the period of time has, liberated people across the world, and similarly, this, Buddha's teaching comes in our region and gives a lot of transformation, lots of social maturity, and in, precise way, we get the perfect cultural and social capital to face the challenges of the 21st century. And even today, it is an ongoing process. For example, running a homestay is a private business, but the environment is a common ownership, right? So the community themselves sets the limit through dialogue that up to which extent you can damage the environment. So in this context, really perfectly well, Government of Arunachal Pradesh is taking the NGOs, not only NGOs, but CBOs as one of the partners in the implementation of the development. So, Namo Buddhaya, and thank you very much for patiently listening.
Thank you very much, sir, Dr. Tasi Ponsoji. Actually, your presentation was also very interesting. So you took this discussion towards the throughout means the historical linkage, and also you has explained through light to the audience that the peace and harmony, how to transform through the with the Buddhism through the culture and people. So again, I will call the third speaker. Our third speaker is a national and international character. So she will connect us with international level of this discussion. Dr. Abira Bhattacharya, she has been assistant curator of Department of Anthropology at the National Museum, New Delhi, overseeing the vast collection. Bhattacharya's contribution to the projects under the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, during 2023-2024, including the digital exhibition on the shared Buddhist heritage, in collaborating with SCO member countries, the International Museum Expo, the Festival of Libraries, and the International Art, Architecture and Design Biennale have connected her to the global network. Additionally, she curated the traveling exhibition, The Indo-Siam Contact, tracing the Indian heritage in the Thai art and living traditions at the Bihar Museum, Patna, as part of ongoing second edition of the Bihar Biennale. So we will hear to her. Use the mic. Please give a clap for her.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin my presentation, I would like to first extend my heartiest gratitude and profound respect to all the venerable bhikkhus and bhikkhunis and also the esteemed delegates. I'm really thankful to IBC for giving me this opportunity to present a part of my research work, ongoing research work, and also like in this presentation I would be discussing some of the case studies from Namsai region only, which I found much more pertinent regarding today's topic, and also how the museums play an important role for the dissemination of these religious perspectives through the medium of visual arts will be showcased in my presentation. Next slide, please. Yes. So we all are aware about the monasteries which are situated in this region, and like I have chosen 4 monasteries and placed them according to the chronology. So to begin with, I have taken this monastery, Momong. So the pictures which are there in this presentation were a part of a field work which I conducted in 2023 beginning. So most probably there are changes, there must be new changes which have been occurred in the past 2 years, and new additions would have been made. But my observation so far as an art historian and also as a museum professional, we try to connect like the visual narratives through not only through the medium of religion, but also through textual evidences and archaeological evidences. So for me, like when the first time I saw the Momong monastery, it took me back to my previous field works which I did in Thailand and Burma, and I recall those architectural establishments. However, if we see the monasteries which are there present in this area, they are built up of bamboo and the local available material, and it is like rather the famous brick monasteries which we see in the Burmese or Pagan period or the Thai monasteries. So this is one of the earliest monasteries according to the records, and the British records like from 1857 or before onwards, like it talks about how Thai Khamtis they were propagating and then they were practicing Theravāda Buddhism in this region, and also in the adjacent regions of Arunachal and Assam. The next slide. Yes, so in this, like these are the various establishments within this compound, and one of the most intriguing feature which I saw is the female deity, which is also known as Vasudhara in Buddhism, and this kind of figures we see in Thailand. In the Thai monasteries, in the paintings and also in the compounds, we see similar kind of stucco imageries or wooden imageries, and also this kind of stoop structure recalls us to the Burmese or the Paganese rituals, where like each day is dedicated to each form of Buddha. So the concept of Manushi Buddha, which is very much pertinent in the Theravāda Buddhism, could be seen and could be portrayed through these architectural and artistic specimens. Besides that, I would like to comment on one thing. Like as we all are aware, like Theravāda Buddhism propagated the unseen presence of Buddha, where the Buddha was showcased only through symbols. However, interestingly, in these monasteries, we find the imageries of Buddha. So it showcases like the art was much more advanced. It was inspired from the Mahāyāna traditions, and however, the ritual practices and the Pali canon was so strongly worshipped and believed by the people that the community people still they call themselves as Theravadins, but the art is essentially inspired from the Mahāyāna traditions. Next slide, please. Yes, so this one I was discussing about this goddess. She is known as Pra Mae Thorani, or also known as Vathondre in Burmese. And here, like the Dharini is shown squeezing her hair, aiding the Gautam Buddha to subdue the Mar. So it's a part of the enlightenment scene. The next slide. So these are the interior sections of these monasteries. As I said, they are made up of wood and bamboo, the readily available material. And we also see a row of Buddha sculptures must be donated as a part of merit making process by the disciples and devotees, and also different kind of ritual pots and ritual elements which today we see in the museums, like they are housed in the museums. People are unaware about their actual usage and also about their local names, and they it's a part of the museum curators to make these inanimate objects and to tell the story. The next slide. So we also see some paintings. These paintings are, we can't compare them with the Ajanta or the Sigiriya paintings, but definitely these are made by the local artists, and they hold a lot of importance and significance, because the iconography which we see, like for example, this is Mahaparinirvan Buddha, which is shown in a form of like a reclining Buddha. So this comes from the ancient text, and we see it in the sculptures from belonging to 1st century BCE and 1st century CE. So the period like from Shun Satvahan period, we witness these sculptures. But now the local artists from 19th century, they are actually, the tradition is continuing. They are getting inspired from the ancient Pali canon, and they are taking up the tradition much more further. So this is how each piece of art which is decorating these monasteries is significant from an art historical viewpoint and also from an anthropological viewpoint. The next slide. Another is the Impong Monastery. Again, these monasteries, they have these structures, these adjoining structures. The upper portion or the superstructure looks very much like a Thai or the Pagan Burmese structure, and the interior has a hall. Sometimes these structures also have an additional structure which looks like a zayat, which is there in the Thai monasteries. So zayat was meant for the travelers, and sometimes they are adjoining to the main structure of these monasteries. So this kind of how the people, the indigenous people of Namsai or the Khamti people, I would say, they have taken up these elements and then they have combined and rejuvenated them in a different format, is also something which is quite admirable. The next slide. Then the most important which I felt while doing my field work is the Chongkham Monastery. The next one. It's again back in 2023. So there were the construction was also going on, and there were many more structures inside the monastery. There was a library, there was a hall for prayers, there was also these big temples encompassing these colossal sculptures, and also we could find the stupas. So for example, this reclining image or the Mahaparinirvan image, this colossal Buddha sculpture, it originated in the 5th century in Ajanta. We see it in the cave number 25, and then we also see it in Kushinagar, and it became worldwide popular. We see the same in Thailand, in entire Southeast Asia, and even in Dushanbe. So something which is there existing like from the Gupta period, 5th century, could be seen in a monastery which was made in 19th century. And besides that, if we see the stupa structure, they recall like how the structural format of the Pagan stupa looked like the Shwedagon or even the Praprathom Chedi from Thailand. The next slide, please. So I was talking about these colossal sculptures. So we not only see the reclining Buddha, the Mahaparinirvan image, but we also see the seated form, and this kind of element which we see behind the ear, the crown, the extension of the crown, is very much Burmese in nature. When we see the Pagan sculpture from 11th century onwards, we can distinguish the Pagan sculpture from the Pal sculpture by looking at this element. So the local or the indigenous artists have retained that element and have recreated the form. The next slide. So these are the various stupa forms which I found there, with ridges, with bell-shaped, the bell-shaped structures, and also on each cardinal direction there is an image as well, which is again seen in the Ratnagiri and the Udayagiri archaeological sites of Orissa. The next slide, please. So I was comparing the current monastic sites with these sites, like from Mandale, then from the Pagan period. The next slide, please. This is Prapratham Chedi, which I was talking about, and this is like 7th century from Dwaravati period from Thailand. The next slide. And like this is the most important pagoda which we all are aware of. But again, from an art historical viewpoint, I found some interesting elements. The next slide. So for example, there is an emerald Buddha at the front, this green jade Buddha. And next slide. So emerald Buddha has a lot of significance in the Sinhalese Buddhism, and also it became very much popular in Bangkok. And Wat Phra Kew was the first temple which encompassed or which had the coronation of the emerald Buddha. The next slide, please. So this is Wat Phra Kew from the Chiang Rai region, from Chiang Mai, Thailand, and then we can see it from the Bangkok. So if we go to the next slide. So the emerald Buddha is also adorned according to the weather and the season. So we have the same sculpture but with different kind of adoration. The next slide. And these are more images of the Golden Pagoda of Namsai. The next slide. So one important thing which I observed is the Sema stone, the boundary stone. And we could see these boundary stones from much earlier, from the Dwaravati region, where we could see the Muchilin Buddha or just 2 minutes, or the Buddha's feet being washed by Yashodhara. The next slide. And also we have a pond of Muchilin Buddha. So again, it takes us back to the Dwaravati region. And similar kind of colossal Buddha sculptures are seen from the Lanna period of Chiang Mai. The next slide. So these are some comparative images from Thailand. The next slide. And also this is the Abedan and Anand temple. So according to my the impression which it gives, the Golden Pagoda is very much inspired from the Abedan and the Anand temple. It's a combination, a combination or a mixture of both these temples. The next slide. And also we find these stupa structures much popular in the Namsai monastic sites. Next slide. Again, just to re-emphasize, the kind of colossal Buddha is seen in these Chiang Mai temples as well. The next slide. And these are more Buddhist monasteries, the Golden Pagoda, the World Peace Pagoda within the Namsai region. The next slide. And the next slide. The Namphake monastery is in Dibrugarh. The next slide. Again, we can see this Tangkhon and the Muchilin pond and the same, the Dharini, the goddess, in the Namphake monastery as well. The next slide. This institution is very much important. It houses a museum and also a study center. And I would just like to show one important thing in this. The next slide. The next slide, please. So there are a lot of icons, there are Pali scriptures, and also written in Liktai script. The next slide. The next slide, please. So we see the Nagamuchilin from the Namsai region, but if we see the beginning, it can be seen from the 1st and 2nd century. This is from the National Museum, Delhi. The next slide, please. So this is quite important. While I was going through my slides, I just found out that this kind of amulets are still made today in Thailand, and it is there in this research center as well. The next slide. So the next slide. So these are the objects from the National Museum collection. The National Museum collection also has, I would not say like a lot of sculptures, but some of the objects from the Thai Khamti region. The next slide. And this is a comparison how the local artists have retained the iconography. The next slide. The next slide, please. So these are some paintings as well. These paintings are quite important. Again, from the iconography, we can see and understand the scene like the Battle of Mar or depiction of hell. The next slide, please. So these are the tankhons, which we see quite popular in Thailand and also in the Namsai region. The next slide, please. Next slide. So based on these collection, we conceptualized an exhibition. I will just briefly show you, I will go through the slides. The next slide. So this was an exhibition based on Indo-Siam Connect, and my perception was like we should not be leaving the living tradition part of Namsai. We should be including that and telling people about the Theravāda Buddhism, how they have retained the culture, and it's a part of a continuing tradition. So I included that part in my exhibition. The next slide. The next slide. So these are the paintings which I displayed in that exhibition. It began from the early period, from the Manchiang period, and the story ended with performing arts and then with the Thai Khamti tradition connections. The next slide. The next slide. And this exhibition also went to Bihar Museum, and I chose a Thai Khamti, this Buddha, Golden Buddha, for the poster, rather choosing a Gupta period sculpture because I found it very intriguing. I'm just finishing it. The next slide. So these were the sub-themes. The next slide. The next slide. So just next slide. So this is the exhibition space. The next slide. The next slide, please. So these were the textiles which were comparing the Thai textiles and the Northeastern textiles. The next slide. So my presentation ends here. Like as I said, as a museum curator, it's also our responsibility that we showcase the intangible and the tangible cultural heritage which is preserved by different communities, and we try to engage with the communities through these visual narratives. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Aviraji. As we expected, you have done it brilliantly, that our session has taken towards to the international level, means you have compared the arts has gone from India to the other countries like Burma and Thai and Sri Lanka. Then from there again, those artifacts, cultural thing, fact has come to India. This is very interesting research. We are sorry for the disturbing while you are presenting. We also wanted to hear your presentation because it is a deep research. So there are a lot of information in your research. But we are bound in the time limit. So it was very interesting. Thank you very much for illuminating our audience. So our last speaker is from Myanmar, Bhikkhu Kesara. Bhikkhu Kesara is a Theravāda Buddhist monk from Myanmar. He dedicated 15 years to monastic life since his ordination in April 2010. He is currently a PhD scholar, PhD ICCR scholar at the Department of Philosophy, Lucknow University in India, researching Buddhism's interactions with other ancient religious traditions. He earned his master's degree in Buddhist studies from Mahāyāna University in Thailand in 2020, and his BA in English language and literature from East Yangon University. In 2011 as a lecturer at the Dharmadutta Chakinda University in Myanmar. He has translated Buddhist historical work into the Burmese and specialized in Buddhist art, philosophy, history, and Vipassana meditation. So I am warmly inviting to the Bhikkhu Kesara to take the mic.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me start my presentation by paying homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Firstly, I pay my special respect to most respected senior bhikkhus and Sangha members and Director General of International Buddhist Confederation, Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation, and Buddhist distinguished guest. My presentation is Theravāda Buddhism in North India, past, present, and future. Past and present. Earliest record of Buddhism in Himalaya regions. As generally known, one of the 9 Buddhist missionary groups of bhikkhus sent by King Ashoka spread Buddhism in Himalaya regions for the first time during the 3rd century BCE. According to Pali chronicles, Dipavansa, Mahāyāna, and Samana group of bhikkhus spread Buddhism in 5 regions of Himalayan mountain ranges. Although these 5 regions cannot be identified exactly, the event is supported by primary inscriptions found on the relic cascades of Stupa number 2 in Sanji and in Sonari, Madhya Pradesh. These inscriptions, which date back to 2nd to 1st century BCE, mention the names of Buddhist monks who spread Buddhism in Himalaya regions, describing Sabha Himawata Charya, teacher of all regions of Himalaya. There are 5 regions, and 5 regions in Pali Chronicle, it is recorded as Pancharathanani. Pancharathanani. Pancharathanani is 5 countries or 5 regions of Himalayas. So maybe one of these regions may be in Eastern Himalaya or Arunachal Pradesh. As you can see the map, Pataliputra to mission, because Western Himalaya, Kashmir, Gandhara, and special mission right to these regions. Western Himalaya, Northwestern Himalaya. Eastern Himalaya is Bhutan, Arunachal Pradesh, and Northeast India. So supposed to be, at the time of King Ashoka, one mission right there. Next slide, please.
Go through the slides.
Please.
Pass the slides.
Okay. Another slide is the legend of Sakya migration and Silk Road. According to traditions, Myanmar people believed that they are descendants of Sakya clans, whose original place was the area in the foothills of Himalaya and Nepal. It is mentioned that during 6th century BCE, a group of Sakya clan migrated to urban Myanmar, to the place of ancient Nagaland city, and established the first dynasty of Myanmar. According to archaeological evidence, there was an active trade. Another slide, please. Next slide. Okay. According to archaeological evidence, there was an active trade route which lasted over 1,000 years, starting from at least 1st century BCE to 13th century, from West Asia, Central Asia to China, through Northeast India and Myanmar. It is called the Southern Silk Road. It is also called Southwestern Silk Road, which is the key to transmission of not only trade and commerce, but also religion and culture. Buddhism was supposed to be spread across this area through the Silk Road in early days, including Northeast India. And you can see the map. Earliest, okay, next slide. how Buddhism spread to Arunachal Pradesh. J.N. Chowdhury, the famous historian, supposed Mahāyāna Buddhism spread to, next slide please, spread to Tibet, possibly via Kashmir in 7th century AD. After that, it spread to Arunachal among the Monpas and Shadupans of the Khaman district via Buddhism. And the Khamti and Simple tribes, who were originally from urban Myanmar, migrated and settled down in eastern frontier of Arunachal Pradesh. During the second half of the 18th century, they brought Theravāda Buddhist culture from Myanmar to Arunachal Pradesh with them. Next slide, please. Buddhist tribes in Arunachal Pradesh. There are 26 major tribes and a number of sub-tribes in Arunachal Pradesh. Among them, the following tribes profess Buddhism: Mempa, Sharipa, Nags, Mempas, Kambas, Mayo, Khamti, Simphals, and Tikhatanzas. The Mempas and Shadukans, etc., spread in northern frontiers, bordering with Bhutan and Tibet. They profess Tibetan Buddhism. And the Shadupans and Mempas, Tiran, and Taiwan areas are the earlier Buddhists of Arunachal. They are followers of Kamabas and Kelubas. The Khamti, the Simphals, Tikhatanza profess Theravāda Buddhism from Myanmar. They spread in the district of Lohit and Chanlan near the Indo-Burma border. Thai Khamti tribe was the first to bring Theravāda Buddhism to the valley, first in Lakhimanpur and after British occupation in Sadia. Buddhist population in Arunachal Pradesh is 43,000 around and 30% of the total state population, according to 2001 census. So another slide. Khamti tribe. Khamti people are one of the Thai ethnic groups of Northeast India, and they are Theravāda Buddhists. The word Khant means gold, and T means region or place, so golden regions. And it is surprisingly coincided with Suvarnabhumi. Suvarnabhumi is one of the mentioned about King Asoka, brought Buddhism to Southeast Asia. So, very interesting. Khamti people mainly live in the eastern frontier of Arunachal Pradesh, Lohit, Chanlan district, and Atham, they spread in Narayanpur of Lakhipur district and Tisukia district. So, Khamti people occupying the area to the north of Saria and southeastern part of Mishimi territory, and according to 2011 census, around 12,000 people. Okay, around 1,000 people in Assam. This is Theravāda Buddhist communities in North India. Another prominent tribe is Theravāda Buddhist tribe, is Simple tribe. Simple people are another tribe who profess Theravāda Buddhism. There are 29 Simple villages. I was killed because time is limited, but about these tribes already present. Another tribe is Tikhatanzas. So Tikhatanza is also Theravāda Buddhist. So another is Buddhism in Assam Strait. Another is the dissemination of Buddhism in Assam. Please skip the slide because time is limited. Development of Buddhism in Assam. Kalahana is mentioned in Raja Tarangini, 1148 to 49, that a daughter of Kamarup. Kamarup is Asian name of Assam. King Balawaraman, who married to the king of Kashmir, donated a vihara in Kashmir during the 5th century AD. So all in all, there are many historical and archaeological evidence that during 5th and 6th century AD, Buddhism had been propagated in Kamarupa, modern-day Assam. So, skip Buddhist archaeological remains in Assam. Another slide, Buddhism in Assam, medieval and modern period. Okay, I will go to Buddhism in Tripura. former presenter have presented about it, so I will skip because of limited time. So Manipur, Mizoram, and Meghalaya, there are a few Buddhist tribes professed in Theravāda Buddhism. So future, please, future, the slide future. Future, past and present, after the future. Please, future. The slide name future.
Please pass the slides.
Okay. There are three aspects of Sattama in Buddha sadhana. Sattama. Pariyati Sattama, Lani Dhamma, accusation aspect of Dhamma. Patipati Sattama, practicing Dhamma, practical aspect of Dhamma. Adhigama Sattama. It's a penetration of Dhamma or the realization of Nibbana. These three are also called three aspects of sadhana, Buddha's teaching, as Pariyati sadhana, Patipati sadhana, and Pativeda sadhana. Among these three aspects, Pariyati and Patipati, learning and practice, are to be followed. A Patipati is the fruition of learning and practicing Dhamma. Buddha Dhamma fully propagate in an area only when these three aspects of Sattama thrive and prosper. So in Pali literature, Dhamma learning Pariyati is compared to the embankment of a large lake. I have picture, the last slide is picture. Dhamma learning is compared to the embankment of a large lake. Dhamma practice, Paripati, is compared to the water in the lake. And Dhamma penetration of Dhamma or realization of Dhamma is to the lotus, compared to the lotus flowers in the lake. Okay, may three kinds of Sat Dhamma be propagated in Arunachal Pradesh, just like a large lake with thousands of lotus flowers. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Bhikkhu Kesar. Bhante, you have done a hard work because you had a focus towards the Theravāda tradition. I think in this region, we can't find so much evidence of Theravāda tradition historically, but you have tried, means you have done a hard work to find out some Theravāda facts for throwing lights to this gathering. So it was very interesting, and also you talk about the tribes of the Buddhist community in this area. It was very interesting. It was a new explanation for this discussion. So now our panel discussion is ending, but I will conclude some things which I have pointed out. The main thing that we got from this discussion, that about the tourism, I think that in the morning session also we was discussing about the tourism. So we got very much impression towards the tourism, how we can develop the circle of the tourism in this area. So the first speaker that Supritam Basu ji have presented that the tourism, how we can bring the tourism circle in this area. So that when we see the present tourist, mostly they are very interested to look the sites also. The other thing that they want to go to the deep into the local the people and the local foods and local the nature, these things they want to experience these things. So this panel was going deep into these details. So it was illuminated this gathering. And another one that this discussion has taken towards the outside world, means link with other countries. That in the morning also we was discussing that the Buddhist tradition, sometimes we are thinking that we should be limited. But our Rinpoche also was discussing in the morning that we should be open and we should take our mission in the means in various ways to the other world, should be open for the world. That is the way of the promoting or the taking the mission of the Buddha to the universal level. So this session was opening for these ideas. So it was very interesting. So thank you very much for all the panelists, and you have done hard work and also presented us your papers, and also the audience also was very much interested with your presentations. So thank you very much. I think we can't take the question and answer the session because now the time has passed, so we are cancelling the question and answer.
Thank you, Venerable. May I please request our Director General to come and give away the mementos. First moderator, Reverend Silavansa Thero. Mr. Raj Basu. Dr. Tashi Funso. Dr. Abira Bhattacharya. And Bhikkhu Kesara. May I request all the panelists to come forward for a photograph? Thank you. We will straight away move on to the last session and then break for tea once and for all. So the third session is a special conversation, and it is on the cultural impact on the Buddhist diaspora. This session will be moderated by Sri Abhijit Haldar, Director General of IBC, and we will have 3 foreigner monks representing respective countries: Bhikkhu Kesara from Myanmar, Venerable Rin Ran from Cambodia, and Khenpo Ugen Namgyal from Bhutan. May I please call upon the venerable monks on the stage. कैसे हैं? A special conversation on cultural impact on the Buddhist diaspora. Over to you, sir.
Namo Buddhaya, and good evening to you all, most respected venerables and all of our guests who have managed to sustain and pull along the whole day. We are going to keep this session a very short one, no lectures, no presentations, but just a brief discussion. So I basically, the theme is interesting. Buddha Dhamma originated in India, and it is a very fascinating history of diffusion of Buddha Dhamma as it traveled across the world. Most of you know how it changed its color, its texture, bringing in new traditions, new sects. The diffusion was undertaken in the past by traders, by missionaries, along the sea route or the route up through the Central Asian states. In modern times, of course, we have seen a lot of movement of people from Buddhist communities and organizations setting up their base in different countries. If you look in modern times, you will find that in Canada, Australia, US, European countries, a lot of Buddhist monasteries exist. This did not happen about 30 years back or 40 years back. This has happened over a period of time because of acceptability of the teachings of the Buddha. When I say acceptability, it is to do with compassion, it is to do with non-violence, it is to do with personal responsibility, it is to do with inner transformation. These are factors which are very essential and critical for a modern civilization, modern generation, and therefore there is a lot of acceptability. So you have situations where we held a conference in IBC where we invited delegates from different countries, and we had a representation from the government of UAE, a Buddhist representation. So we were a little amused because UAE is not a Buddhist country. But the person who had come was a Thai Buddhist who had settled down in UAE, set up 2 monasteries, and he today represents the government of UAE on all international Buddhist fora. So like that, diffusion has taken place, and it is taking place in modern times also. People carry the message, they carry the flavor of Buddhist art, culture, tradition to different countries. They bring valued contributions in their respective countries to India when they come to India. You can call them Dhammaduta in some form or the other. So I have a panel here of venerable monks from Bhutan, from Cambodia, and also from Myanmar. I will just, they are the Dhammadutas of today's time. They are spending time in India. They've studied in different countries, they've worked in different countries, and they have a very interesting experience and knowledge of the variety and the range of issues which affect the modern generation today. So I will just ask one question each to cut the time short. So I'll start with, I think I'll end with Khempo Ugen Namgyalji, because his will be a very long speech. Keep it simple, but he's a good speaker. So I'll start with Bhikkhu Kesara. He's already been introduced to you as a Theravāda Buddhist monk from Myanmar, dedicated 15 years to monastic life, having ordained in April 2010, currently PhD ICCR scholar at the Department of Philosophy, Lucknow University. He's earned his master's degree from Mahāyāna University in Thailand in 2020. Lecturer at the Dhamma Chekinda University in Myanmar, translated Buddhist historical works into Burmese and specializes in Buddhist art, philosophy, history and Vipassana meditation. Now I will ask one simple question. There is a deep connect between India and Myanmar as far as Buddha Dhamma is concerned. Pali language is something which is very strong in Myanmar. In fact, it is not so strong in India, if you look at it. That is the reason the government of India has announced the language as a classical language. We had the good fortune of visiting Myanmar just 1 month back. I was mentioning it to you, Venerable, and we interacted with a lot of universities there, and we were very surprised to find that even examinations are held now in Pali language in that country. There is so much of emphasis, and there is a lot of research going on in Pali language in that country. Now, Venerable, I just want to ask you that now that you are in India and studying here, what do you feel is important and critical for us in India, to upgrade, to understand, to close the gap in certain areas where you think we can improve? Some of your suggestions.
Firstly, may I clarify the question? And improving means improving in Buddhist study. Yes. And the question is very big and very difficult for me to suggest. But as far as I'm concerned, just my personal opinion, I expect something for India. At the moment, prestigious university, central university as well as state university, they offer courses in Buddhist studies, master courses, bachelor courses, and PhD level courses. But I expect much more than now from India. I believe India has much resources to offer to Buddhism. Maybe Buddhist studies specialized in Northern Buddhism, Mahāyāna Buddhism in East Asia, or Tibetan Buddhism from Tibet, or Theravāda Buddhism from southern schools. India is the middle point. Now, in this conference hall, we meet from Buddhism from southern schools and Buddhism from northern school. We have great opportunity to meet here. Actually, from historical perspective, we separated from same teachers, Buddha, immediate disciple, Mahākassapa Thera, Ananda Thera from India. They are native of India. They spread Dhamma in India. India is the original land of Buddhism. That everyone knows. So I expect much more from India in Buddhist study to provide a very world-class, glorified Buddhist study institute, college, special college, something like that. I expect, because I believe India can do much more than now. So that is my personal opinion. That is my humble personal opinion as a student of Buddhist studies. Because I'm from Southern school, I just only have to learn Pali Buddhism, Theravāda point of view. But I want to know much more. Tibetan Buddhism. I want to know Tibetan Buddhist literatures. I want to know Mahāyāna Buddhism, Eastern Buddhism. But it is very difficult to study different literature from different Buddhist schools at a single institution, at a single place. But India has large possibility. For example, Buddha Gaya. Buddha Gaya is the meeting point of all Buddhist traditions. From Mahāyāna tradition, Theravāda tradition, Vajrayāna tradition. When I got to, I for the first time, when I arrived to Buddha Gaya and paid, I have special chance to pay to the Bodhi tree. I see the views, Tibetan Buddhist monks, Theravāda Buddhist monks, Mahāyāna monks from Vietnam, something like that. All traditions united under the Bodhi tree. That's the very, very special view and very, very special for Buddhism. So I expect like that to provide much more opportunity to study different schools of Buddhism in India. Much more advanced, much more better Buddhist institution. This is my humble opinion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhanteji, for being very free and frank. Of course, this is the reason why the government of India has declared Pali as a classical language, because now there is a lot of focus on Pali language and generally in terms of serious, intense education on the Buddhist front. So this is taken good note of, and I'm sure in the long run you will find a lot of academic pursuits emerging in India. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I will now request Venerable Rin Ran. He is a dedicated Buddhist monk from Cambodia. Serves as in charge of the Cambodian monastery in New Delhi in India. If you know Delhi, then you know the place called Mehrauli near Qutub Minar. Not very far from there is the monastery. His spiritual journey is rooted in deep devotion to Buddhist teachings, fostering peace, wisdom, and cultural exchange. At the monastery located at 25 Andheria More, Chhatarpur, Mehrauli, he leads religious practices, guides devotees, and preserves Cambodian Buddhist traditions. Through his commitment to community welfare, he nurtures a space for learning, meditation, and harmony. His presence in India strengthens ties between Cambodian and Indian Buddhist communities, promoting shared values of compassion and mindfulness in today's world. So, Venerable, I'll just ask you one simple question, since as a Cambodian monk you have been serving in India for so long, and you know the soul and the spirit of both the countries, Cambodia and India, as far as Buddha Dhamma is concerned. What do you think should be done more in terms of Buddha Dhamma as far as India and Cambodia is concerned, in terms of relationship between the two countries? What all can be done? What should be done? Whether it is academic, whether it is social work, building temples, monasteries. Just feel free to say what you want to say.
First of all, I would like to thank to Director IBC and respecting to all venerables. On this question, I'm very interested and very important for between Cambodia and India. So we has been so long connecting from a religion, Buddhism, between culture also. For a long years ago, I was here in my experience in India, we have exchange for the Buddhist culture. Like in India, after Buddha time, it spread to Cambodia. And we are Buddhism. We are smoothly to connecting the culture and Buddhists. All devotees also promising to come India for visit all places and Bodhisai all around India and also in Arunachal. But it seems so far from Cambodia to from Delhi to here. But from Cambodia to Indian New Delhi or Uttar Pradesh, like Varanasi or Bodh Gaya is easier. So all Buddhist monks has thought that how we can exchange and contribute the world of Buddhism through the religion. We can make, we have to try to make Buddhist temples around India or Buddhisai. As you see in New Delhi, our temples built in 1991 until now, so maybe more than 30 years. And other temples also in Uttar Pradesh and Bodh Gaya. We have so many Buddhist temples. And Lumpini as Nepal also. So according to this, I am very serious and deeply of people who's in Buddhism has thought that how to spread of the culture and between Cambodia and India. That is why we promised our Buddhism between India and Cambodia. So I thought for the future, India will build any temples or any communities in Cambodia to spread between cultures and Buddhist religion. So the finalists, I would like to thank to all venerables and Director RBCs for opportunity to invite me to come here. So I wish you, may the Buddha bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Venerable. I think what you said is very relevant for travelers, for Buddhists, monks from coming from Cambodia to travel, even from other countries to travel to different places. Sometimes it becomes challenging, especially if you are talking about a place like Namsai. But we were having a discussion with the Deputy CM after the last session. And we were discussing on how it can be made more relaxed. For instance, the rules of temporary line permit given to people from outside, how flights can be organized from different countries, in a systematic manner. And if that happens, then of course travel will be shorter, because geographically flying from Cambodia to Calcutta and then to this place is easier. I know there is a heavy traffic of people from your country to Bodh Gaya and to Sarnath, but this side also one should look at, the northeast side. You mentioned about New Delhi, your temple there for 30 years. I think this is a very big contribution, because I remember our Honorable Prime Minister even now mentions that, monks from different countries, they come to India. They basically come to Delhi first. They land in Delhi at the IGI airport. Then they go to Banaras, Vaishali, Kushinagar, Bodh Gaya, Sarnath, wherever it is. But in Delhi itself, there is no major monument, a Buddhist monument or a pagoda or a monastery which is of world class, which everybody who wants to visit Delhi should be able to see. not just Buddhists, but any tourist coming to Delhi should like Qutub Minar. Now, any tourist coming from any part of India or anywhere in the world visits Qutub Minar. They visit Taj Mahal in Agra. So there has to be a very big monastery in Delhi, for which the government is working hard, and there are some projects under consideration. I think if it happens, then Delhi will also have a very big monastery. Lumbini you mentioned briefly. Just to tell you, we as IBC also are taking interest in Lumbini, and we are building a monastery there. It's a center. It's an international center for Buddhist culture and heritage. It is almost complete now, 90-95%. If everything goes all right, by August, the project should be completed. So besides the program we are doing here and other activities, we are also focusing on that building. It's a very difficult proposition to build a structure, a huge structure in a foreign country. But as IBC, we are doing that also. So hopefully that structure will come up, and we wanted to show you a film on that project, but time is less, so we will not show you now. Once it is complete, it will be there in the news, and anytime if you want to visit Nepal, Lumbini, you will see that particular structure. Thank you, Venerable. Thank you. Ugenji, I will now ask you, you can speak for yourself as far as, Guru Padmasambhava and his footprints in Bhutan are known to everyone. We had in IBC a conference which we organized in Nalanda University, where the topic was Guru Padmasambhava, and we had some scholars, of course, from different countries, and we discussed about his contribution, etc. One is that. Then the other very big event which happened in Bhutan, which we were also involved in and we were very happy about, was the first Vajrayāna conference, the big one. I want you to speak about these two aspects, which I feel are, in my opinion, very major contribution of Bhutan towards Buddha Dhamma.
Thank you very much, D-Sab. First of all, I pay my deep respect to all the Mahasanghas of Arunachal Pradesh, and Director General, Secretary General, and our special guest, who is the Council General of Bhutan Council, Guwahati. It is a wonderful question. The Guru Rinpoche impact is very much in Bhutan, actually. If you talk about the pre-Buddhistic timing in Bhutan, at that time, most of our time was like worshipping to the mountains, nature, rivers, sun. We had so many deities like that, and there was also so many rituals and ceremonies was going on. Only after the intervention of the Guru Rinpoche in, I think, 7th century, when he was invited into Bumtang, one of the Rajas, to cure the Rajas. From there, the Buddhism started into the Bhutan through the Bumtang, and some say it came from the India. Nowadays, I think recently, somebody, I think that friend gentleman said, I think they came from this Arunachal Pradesh to Bhutan. So it is a wonderful connection between the Arunachal Pradesh and Bhutan through the ranges of mountains, rivers, and also with the beliefs of nature, belief of like that there was a born tradition before that. Then the Nyingma tradition, when it came in the Guru Rinpoche's time, that's how slowly, that's in 16th century. Before 16th century, even Drukpa Kagyu's teachings was also flourished by the Pajudugum Shipas, through which came from Tsangpa Jari. Then in 16th century, 1660, 17th century around, the Shabdong Ngawanamgi came to Bhutan. That's how we unified the country and make the country Bhutan, Druk. Then from there, the teachings of Buddha flourished very much into the country. Now you'll see in Bhutan, most of the country you'll see is a Nyingma tradition and Drukpa Kagyu traditions. Mostly you'll see Drukpa Kagyu tradition in the western side, Nyingma tradition in the eastern side. That's why we have most common traditions of Buddhism is Nyingma and Kagyu. And even the state religion of the country is Buddhism. And because I think we have wonderful kings and leaders that made us our country as a Buddhist country, one. Another thing, as a Vajrayāna country in the whole world, and also one of the peaceful and happiest country in the whole universe. So I think that credit definitely goes to our kings. From now it's the fifth king, from first king to fifth king. That's why, based on these things, we also had Vajrayāna tradition very strongly. I think the first Vajrayāna conference we were started in, I forgot, I was the coordinator and organizer too that time. Yeah? I think DJ Sahib remember, my memory is not that strong enough to remember all the dates, but still, that was very important for us. Because when we said the Vajrayāna conference, the focus was not only on the Vajrayāna. Focus was on the Vajrayāna country. Focus on inviting every individual experts of Vajrayāna, Theravāda or Mahāyāna from the whole world. And we thought that by coordinating this conference, that would help to understand people's views on Bhutan and people's view on the Vajrayāna. And I think initiative was taken by the Rashokarma Ura, who was president of the Center Buddhist Studies, and then Center Monastic Body together. And that now we had the fourth conference, and I think this June we have another conference it's on the Vajrayāna conference, but the topic was most on other topic this time. And it was a very successful conference in the first time, second time, and third time. And there are many participants, scholars came from very, very different countries. And that one also, the IBC played also an important role in one of the conference who participated and coordinated and supported through the Indian Embassy. And we thank to IBC, and we have a wonderful relation with the IBC, and we work together. I think IBC is doing a wonderful job as a very inspiring institutions and also organizations for the whole exemplary to the whole world now. And if IBC is leading in a better directions, we are going to follow the IBC. And that would create a different scenario in the Buddhist organization in the whole world. Now I think, as our friend said, that the India plays a very important role. This time, I think this couple of years, I thank to the Shri Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, who've been supporting all the time the IBC and also the Buddhist community. And through that, to the Indian government, we also been having a very close relationships with the IBC and the monks of India, and we had so many cultural and religious exchange programs with India. And I myself had been lead all the state monks, head of the Bhutan, to the different states of the country, visiting holy places, and we had a very religious dialogue with the different state levels and ministry levels in India. And wonderful things, and if you see now we are doing a Namsai, this wonderful conference, and that is also bringing a very strong impact. This is my first time I came to Namsai, and I thought Namsai was just different thing. When I came here, and when we had a very short conversation with the Deputy Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, the scenario that I thought was quite different. And I was very much inspired and happy that how the Namsai is very historically strong in Buddhism, how they took care of. I also told to the Chief Minister that we have to learn from you how to be. Sometimes I think we get also influenced by different cultures and different beliefs, as though we are not anti-believers of any of things. But it's our duty to take our own beliefs. Sometimes we fail to take care of our youth in the right directions, or sometimes institutionally, when you try to influence them in our philosophical way, in the rituals way, in the social service, in the meditation, I think there's certain lacking that some youth don't get interested. And in such way, this is the biggest challenge for the Buddhist community. It's the biggest challenge for the Buddhist country to hold back your own identity as a belief, as your own culture. So that's also another challenges that you find in many of the villages and towns of this small community. So that is also which we have to learn from our experiences. And thank you very much for allowing us to be here to share our thoughts with the wonderful people, the great scholar from Namsai. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Khenpola. And just to inform you, though he's from Bhutan, but he spends most of his time in Bodh Gaya. He has a temple there and speaks very fluent Hindi. He's as much an Indian as you can think of. And he mentioned about a group of monks from Bhutan who had come to India. So we had organized, the IBC had organized a short tour for a group of prominent monks from Bhutan, and Khenpola was leading the delegation about 2 years back. And we brought them to not just see traditional Buddhist places, but also to see what India is all about. So they went to Bodh Gaya and Sarnath, etc. But we also took them to the Infosys headquarters in Hyderabad. So I still remember a beautiful picture of a very shiny building of Infosys, and all monks standing in front, from Bhutan, standing in front of that building. So we do those kind of activities also. We did get some very senior venerables from Sri Lanka also on a visit here. And we are expanding. These are our neighboring countries. Slowly we'll do it with, of course, Cambodia and Myanmar also. Groups of monks to be brought from there and taken to places in India. I think with this we can end. Do you have room for one question? Anybody wants to ask a question? Anyone? Oh, he's left. Okay. Thank you. I think we'll wind up this session. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, DG sir, for moderating this session so well. I'll request our Secretary General to please come and present mementos to the speakers of this session. Speakers of the third session, Cultural Impact on the Buddhist Diaspora, Bhikkhu Kesara from Myanmar. Venerable Rin Ran from Cambodia. Khenpo Ugen Namgyal from Bhutan. Requesting all the panelists to please join for a group photograph. Thank you. I request our DG to stay back to present, rather felicitate some of the senior respected elders of the communities who are present here. Mr. Chow Khok Longcho. These are some of the respected elders of the communities in Namsai. Mr. Popyong Singpo. Mr. Chow Miko Longphoi. and Mr. Inam Gam Singpo. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Venerable. Last but not the least, I'll request Most Venerable Ananda Bhikkhu, Vice President of International Buddhist Confederation, to please come and propose the vote of thanks.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Triple Gem, homage to the Holy Sangha here, and my dear brothers and sisters. Now we are coming to the end of today's program. I take this opportunity to thank the people who are concerned. And first of all, I would like to thank our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Sri Chaunaminji, who has been the backbone of most of our activities, Buddhist development in this whole Arunachal Pradesh state. And he has changed his program to come and attend this conclave. So we are very, very grateful to him and his deep concern for minute things to protect the culture, art and religion, language. So we are very grateful to Chaunaminji for being the chief guest of today's conclave. And next, I would like to thank Sri Chao Jingnu Namchumji, Honorable MLA of Namsai, his dynamic leadership, youth power, and he is motivating so many people. And with all the modern influences, he is deeply committed to Lord Buddha's teachings and the culture and the tradition here. So I am very grateful, and on behalf of International Buddhist Confederation, we express our grateful thanks to him. Thirdly, I express thanks to Sri C.R. Khampaji, Deputy Commissioner of Namsai District. The government machinery has been together with the IBC for organizing this wonderful program. And in spite of the holidays and other busy things, he gave all his cooperation and help. So thank you very much, Sri C.R. Khampaji, Deputy Commissioner. I also thank, on behalf of IBC, Sri Sange Thinle, Superintendent of Police, Namsai District, who was also equally involved and actively participated in these arrangements and helped the organizers. I deeply thank, on behalf of IBC, all the government officials of different departments, and especially we have one licensing officer who was specially deputed for organizing this program. That is Miss Chow Malingta Namchum, District Arts and Culture Officer, Namsai. So we are very, very grateful to you. And then on behalf of IBC, we are very grateful to Itika Banteji with folded hands, with salutations. Thank you for your presence. Itika Banteji is most senior, most monk, I think, in Theravāda tradition in India. So we are very grateful to you, Bante. We are very grateful to Agadhamma Mahathera Banteji, Pariyati Sasana Buddha Vihara Abbot, who is instrumental in preserving and keeping so many temples around active and encouraging the Sangha here, the people here. Thank you very much, Banteji. On behalf of IBC, I would like to thank Venerable Bhikkhu Vimalatissa Mahathera, Chief Abbot of Kangmukham, that Golden Temple. Tomorrow we are going there, so a lot of help he has extended to organize. So we are very grateful to Banteji. Venerable Pantuva Banteji, Chief Abbot of Chong Khamatan, for his help. And then Venerable Nandiya Banteji, Chief Abbot of Chongkham Rajavihara. We are grateful to Gyanpal Banteji from Naharkatia for all the way coming and attending. We are very grateful to Arunachal Bhikkhu Sangha. Many monks from Arunachal Bhikkhu Sangha have participated here with lot of regards and gratitude. Thanks to all of them. Purvanchala Bhikkhu Sangha, venerable monks also have joined here from Assam and other places in Arunachal Pradesh. So very grateful thanks. Venerable Lamas and other monks from Tezu and other places in Arunachal and all over India, we are very grateful to you for your participation. Then we have the venerable monks from foreign countries who were in the last session and others. We are very grateful. Thank you so much on behalf of IBC. Then we have local CBOs, venerable monks of Namsai, elders of Khamti and Singphu community, and then lay devotees of Namsai, media persons. Special thanks to the volunteers from the Students' Union of All Thai Khamti Singphu Students' Union. They are very young and energetic and so helpful in organizing these big events. All Namsai District Students' Union, Singphu Youth Organization. So we are very, very grateful to all of you. And as today we discussed so much that this rich tradition has to be carried on to the next generation to generation. So the youth play a very important role. Our thanks go to all the speakers, wonderful speakers, delegates, volunteers, and our thanks also go to all the volunteers and staff and students of Mahabodhi Lord Buddha College, who also worked quite a lot, and our principal Sri Kiranji. And of course, on behalf of IBC, We thank one and all, and IBC team itself, without which this wouldn't be possible. Secretary General Shastri Rinpoche ji, deep thanks to you for coming and conducting this one, and Director General Sri Abhijit Haldar Sahib ji, and Mr. Amos ji, and all the IBC officials who have been working day and night for organizing this. And last but not least, our Panya Rakita Bante ji from Mahabodhi, who has been as a team with Amos and others here. So I think I have not forgotten anybody. So with this, thanking one and all. If I have missed any names, I seek forgiveness. But our thanks go to one and all, whoever has organized even small things, small work or big work. So with this, we will conclude with one metta chanting, blessing chanting. I request all the Bhantes to please bless. Sabitiyo vivajantu sabarogo vinasatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhe degayuko bhava abhivadana silesa nichang buddha pachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vadhanti Ayuvanno Sukhang Balang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Atho Nibbana Sampatti Yeminate Samijjatu Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sote bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sote bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada suthi bhavantu te. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.
Thank you, Bhante Ji, for the kind blessing. May I request everyone to please join for tea at the dining area. Good evening and Namo Buddhaya.